Today on Walk with History, we're going to explore the homes of the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, here in Memphis, Tennessee. So I'm at 1034 Audubon Road in Memphis, Tennessee, and this is the home of Elvis Presley. And this is the home he lived in when he became famous. So he had bought this home in March of 1956 for $29,500, a little under $30,000. Moved in with his parents, and in between the time he lived here till the time he moves to Graceland, he becomes famous. Heartbreak Hotel comes out, and so people start congregating in his driveway. People start waiting for him in the lawn. So the Presley family actually puts in this fence to keep people off their lawn. He puts in a pool in the back. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom ranch-style home. It is in 1957 that he actually will move into Graceland. So he lives here for about 13 months with his parents. And he buys it when he's 21 years old. So this is the home of Elvis. It was painted green when he bought it, then they painted it white, and then it was painted green again. So before he moves to Graceland, this will be his home. There's plenty of pictures of him here, riding his motorcycle here, being in the front lawn here. There's pictures of him in the pool in the backyard as well. So here is the plaque that's in front of his home with the gate, and it says they moved in March 20th, 1956. It says the address, of course, and then Heartbreak Hotel. It's when he buys Graceland that he sells this house and puts the money down on Graceland. And it's actually interesting, the woman who lives in Graceland buys this house from him, and he moves into Graceland because I think she knows that this is going to be worth some money. In 1957, Elvis gave his parents a budget of $100,000 to find a place where they could all live together in safety from his fans as they kept coming up to his house on Auburn Street. And they found this place, Graceland. You can see it up there on the hill behind me. This was purchased in March 19th, 1957 for $102,500. It has a 4-car garage, and it was 13.5 acres at the time. The man who owned this house had a daughter named Grace, and that is who it's named after, Grace too. She's actually buried in Elmwood Cemetery, and Elvis decided not to change the name. But it was her niece that inherited this property, and she built that mansion in the 1920s. She was a socialite, and she entertained people in the area. And when Elvis' parents were looking for a place, they wanted a place for horses, and they thought this house would be perfect. Oh. So as you can see, people come here and put their initials. They write something on the marker. My initials are still here, like 5 years later. I can't believe they're still here. Lisa Marie still owns the home. Now, this area over here is dedicated to all the museums. That's the Lisa Marie aircraft over there. That's the aircraft that will go to California and pick up Priscilla and Lisa Marie and bring them here for the funeral. All of this was cleared out right before the 40th anniversary of his death. And they put in a museum to him in Tupelo, a museum to his movie career, a museum of his costumes, a museum of his military career. And each one individually you have to pay for. That was not here before. It was just a bunch of little different shops and things like that. It's very nice now. They even have a amphitheater where bands play. I saw Bret Michaels here. Priscilla lived here both as a teenager and after she marries Elvis in 1967. Lisa Marie is born in 1968, and they divorced in 1972. Lisa Marie will go to the local Catholic school here as well. She lives here as a teenager. This is the marker out in front, and this marker just tells you of his life. He was born January 8th, 1935. He's born in Tupelo, Mississippi. He comes here for middle school, high school, and then he dies here August 16th, 1977. He wasn't originally buried here. He was originally buried at Forest Hill Cemetery, but grave robbers tried to break into his grave not even a week after he was buried, so then they moved his body here. And his mother is here, his father is here, his grandmother is here, his grandson is here, and there is a marker for his twin brother as well. This gate at Graceland with the custom metal that looks like Elvis playing guitar and musical notes, this was put in by Elvis, and this is famous gate. You've seen it in a lot of photographs, but and there's actually a picture of him standing here in front of the gate. He had this put in after he moved in to keep people, again, from walking up, and they would wait, and he would stop and he would sign autographs and things like that, but they would just wait here for him instead.
You should have one in there, man.
On August 15th, 1972, Elvis comes out of here to go to the dentist. There's pictures of him leaving here. He comes back. He plays racquetball with some of his friends in the racquetball court, and then he dies in the bathroom on August 16th, 1977. And the bathroom is the window right above the front door. So the night of the anniversary of his death, they'll shut down Elvis Presley Boulevard. They won't let traffic come through here. And people will put up makeshift shrines to Elvis Presley. And they'll put up candle visuals and photographs and little movie stations, and they'll put up big screens here that'll play his music. And the last time I was here for the 40th anniversary, Lisa Marie and Priscilla stood out here and lit candles for people who wanted to walk up to the grave. The line was so long I wasn't going to stand in that. Tons of people came here from all different countries, all different walks of life. I asked them what Elvis meant to them, why are they here? They all had these very individual Elvis stories. It was very interesting. So I am here at 7:15 in the morning because Graceland is open to the public every day from 7:30 to 8:30. You can walk up to the meditation garden, which is where Elvis is buried with his family. And that is open to the public every day since it is a burial site. This is August, and since August is the month that Elvis passed away, I don't know if there'll be wreaths and things up there yet, because people will send things in commemoration of the day that he died. So I will see when I walk up there if there's actually anything up there. So we're gonna walk up. You can walk up the road. You're not allowed to drive up it. And it's open to the public in about 15 minutes. Elvis had the meditation garden put in. It was a good way for him to relax. And he always felt at peace there. So after he was buried out in town at Forest Hill Cemetery, and about 3 days later, someone tries to break into his grave, his family hasn't moved here, just for more protection. But look at these great driveways. Elvis used to drive go-karts all around here. There's videos of him driving go-karts with his family around here. There's the house up on the hill. At Christmas time, they make this look so pretty. They put out Christmas lights and big nativity scenes and stuff, so it's very cool. So as I walk up, and you can see Graceland, it looks relatively the same. Elvis would recognize it no problem today. It looks relatively the same. Like I said, the window above the door is the bathroom. That is where Elvis passed away. There's the living room to the right as you walk in. The dining room is to the left as you walk in. There's a kitchen, his mother's room. It's behind there. The jungle room is on this floor, and it's all the way in the back. And then downstairs is the TV room and like a game room. And then upstairs is Elvis's bedroom and Lisa Marie's bedroom and an office. That is still private property. No one is allowed to go up there. Lisa Marie still owns that. When she comes here to visit, she'll stay there. But the lions and everything is still relatively the same. So during Elvis week, there are wreaths all the way out here. Just all these wreaths from different corporations and companies to commemorate Elvis's life. This is the pool. There's many pictures of him diving into the pool and things along that nature.
Does the sound have to be off?
So here I am in the meditation garden. It's really beautiful, has statues and flowers. And these are the grave sites over here. I'll take video of that. It has a nice cross, and it's a very stained glass windows. They take really good care of it. So this is the pool house. Before they redid the museums, this used to hold his gold records, and his Grammys would be in there. Since they've redone everything, this holds fan art. This is Elvis's grandson. Unfortunately, he passed away recently. This is Lisa Marie's son. He is now here with his grandfather and his great-grandmother, his great-grandfather, and his great-great-grandmother. Here's the Presley cross. It's just beautiful. And this overlooks the gravesite and the fountain here in the meditation garden. It's really, really beautiful. And they also have Gladys Love Presley. That's the racquetball court. Elvis's last night alive. He plays racquetball. He plays the piano in there. It has since been redone to look like it did that night. Wooden EP on the wall and things along that nature. It used to hold all of his costumes and things like that, but now it has been recreated to look like it did that night. It's a very, very serene place. There's horses back there in the stable. You can see the horses right there. Some of Elvis's horses still here.
How many hours do you want?
What I learned living here in Memphis is that a lot of people have personal Elvis stories, which I find so fascinating. People will tell me stories of playing football with him on the front lawn, or going to the movies and he had bought out the theater to watch a movie and he let them come and watch the movie with them, or they helped make a costume that he wore for a certain show, like they made the shoes or they made the pants or something like that. Or they have a friend who dated Elvis, or their sister dated Elvis, or something like that. So I just found it so interesting how connected the people of Memphis are to Elvis. And he did a lot of things at night, and Priscilla always talks about how he would wake up like at 8 p.m. and his day would basically be the whole night. Basically travel and be without so much interference, and places would stay open for him and he could go and do things without creating too much of a mob. And there was like theme parks here, and he would usually buy things out. He didn't want it to be a distraction for other people and interfere with other people's days. He felt bad about that. So that's kind of why he operated the way he did. So that was awesome. Got to see the meditation garden, got to talk to some people. And as I leave Graceland behind me, I think it's fitting that Elvis died here. This was his home. He loved this place. This is where he loved bringing his daughter here. He loved having his family and his friends around him. Everybody who he had his entourage with lived here with him. And so I think it's fitting that this was the place where he passed. He was way too young, but it's fitting that he's forever memorialized here as well. So Graceland has a special place in American history, has a special place in music history, and I think everybody should have a chance to come here and see it, see this young man, this young boy who just made his dreams come true and really changed an entire genre of music and just left his mark. So I'm in front of Grace Tooff's grave, and this is who Graceland is named after. She's in the Tooff family plot, which again, when you see a big stone like this, it usually represents a plot area. And then this is her, they call this like a cradle, where it has the circular physical location of where the coffin would have been buried. People come here and plant gardens on them, which is amazing. It's really beautiful here in Elmwood that they do this. But here it is, Grace Tooff. She died December 28th, 1928. And it'll be her sister that will inherit Graceland, her sister Ruth, and then Ruth will then give it to her daughter, Ruth, and it's Ruth who's going to build
the 10,000 square foot mansion that we know today as Graceland. She built it in 1939. And then she is going to leave it to her daughter, Ruth. And then Ruth is going to marry a man. And together they're going to sell Graceland to Elvis in 1957. And she's going to move into Elvis's old home at Audubon, which we went to. So this is the location. I had some great helpers here that helped me find. So if you have to search a cemetery, it's good to have people with you, lots of eyes to be looking for graves. So this is my Memphis family here helping me find graves. But as you can see, this is kind of a well taken care of cemetery. Another thing that's unique about Elmwood is people aren't buried in sequence, they're buried in family locations. So you're gonna have a grave here from 1928 and then a new grave over here from 2019. So you can't tell the young and the old. I think over here is the location. See these pillars behind me? That's the location of the firm, where they do the funeral from the firm. Those pillars right there is what they use when they have the funeral in that movie.
So my final thoughts on Elvis Presley outside of Graceland. The man is the American story. He grows up in poverty. He comes here as a young child. He goes to Sun Studio. That's All Right Mama comes together, breaks out of this whole music genre. He never leaves his Southern roots. He stays in Memphis, and he will always call Memphis home. He will always stay true to the people here. One of the things that I love about Elvis Presley is his philanthropy. He is the reason why we have the Pearl Harbor Memorial. He was just such a giver, and that Southern hospitality never left him. So when I think of Elvis Presley, I really do think of a good person and a good man, and I love celebrating his stardom. On to my next Walk of History.